right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 264, and we are a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on with the show, I want to invite each and every one of you to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. And if you want to make fun of my trophy lists or Jake's trophy list, you can find me at anchorlist_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at JakeSaw01. And as always, you can write the show at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Be sure to leave comments, rate the podcast as you see fit. And as a reminder, we are a video podcast as well, or a video cast. And you can watch the show, if you prefer, over at our YouTube channel. And for new and or long-time listeners, we have a Patreon. This is a site where you can support our show for $1 a month, and it's at a tier called the One and Only $1 Club. So head on over to patreon.com, PS This Is Awesome, /PS This Is Awesome, to become a $1 patron, and you can get a free die-cut vinyl sticker mailed to you in the mail, and we'll give you a shout-out on the show. And that $1 every month probably won't buy you anything but maybe a little thing of Tic Tacs, but it will help us out immensely every month. And the more of you we can get to do that, the better we feel about ourselves, and the better show we're going to deliver. You get what you pay for. No, I'm just kidding. You guys know we don't expect any kind of money from any one of you, but if you can throw a buck our way, we are more than grateful for it. And with that out of the way, Jake, how are you this lovely cold evening?
Yeah, the weather is cold. It was like really sunny today, like bright blue skies, super sunny. So I decided to take the dogs for a walk, and it turns out it was like 38 degrees outside. So I just went out in a hoodie, and I was fucking frozen by the time I got back.
Yeah.
But it was nice to be out in the sun.
I agree.
It's always good to get a little bit of vitamin D, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been, I took Charlie for, I don't want to say it out loud because he's sitting here next to me on the chair. I don't know if the viewers can actually see him today. But we're just hanging out down here in the studio. The wife's out having a girls' night. Some comedian in town, Zane Landry or something at Voodoo, and I guess he's funny or something. They went to Cabaret at the Academy earlier, and I don't know. They're just having a whole day of it. So it's been boys' night in, Charlie and I. But yeah, we went out for one of those things also, and same. I did have a jacket actually. I put a jacket on. I've been rocking the old flannel with a hoodie underneath. I think it's a nice nostalgic look, and it's also very warm, doubled layer. But I did throw a jacket on top, and it was a nice little time. And to the point about the weather, this shit in Ohio is freaking everybody out around here. I don't know if anyone's seen on the news.
The train wreck?
Yeah. The
East Palestine, yeah.
Yeah. It's literally, it's not us. I feel so bad for everyone who's been displaced, but man, it's only an hour and 26 minutes from where we're at. And where I'm at, it's probably closer to you, huh? Is it closer to you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm farther west than you, so yeah, it would by default be a little bit closer to me. But yeah, I guess like it's whatever got spilled. I don't know if it was like chemicals or fuel or something like that, but like a bunch of wildlife is dying, and like
fish are just dead, and the groundwater is infiltrated. Yeah. It's in the Ohio River basin, so then like you got to figure out which way the water goes, and it's like, you know, they did a quote unquote controlled burn, and it left like a mushroom cloud. It happened in East Palestine, Ohio. And it's just a small rural neighborhood, and this train rips through there, and it derailed, and it had chemicals on it that apparently can be used to make mustard gas. And they're just like, well, we can't leave this environment, so we're just going to fucking burn it all. So they burn all this shit, and then if you look at the pictures, it left this incredible mushroom cloud over this city and this town, and you can see it just falling out of the sky back down to the ground. And like, yeah, there was a guy who had like a shelter for foxes, and all their faces got all swollen up. Domestic animals are like puking, getting sick. Fish are dead in the creeks. And I mean, they're saying this is going to be huge because it's up in the air and now the wind just takes it, right? And then it lands wherever it lands. And there's a lot of people within like a 3 mile or 3 hour radius are really, really nervous. The EPA got involved and, they're pretty much saying it's in the hands of the state. So Ohio is doing tests and stuff, and they did a mandatory evacuation. And they said, failure to cooperate with this evacuation of the entire town could result in death. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we got to fucking go. So then they were like, oh, yeah, you can come back. And then they're like, what about tests? Is it safe to come back? And they're like, sure, but we don't have the test results yet. And we're not going to test anything yet until, like, we think it's safe enough to test. Like, we just said that we can come back. So, like, a lot of mixed messaging over there. And I know in Allegheny County, they did detect the chemicals in the air. But they said that as far as the actual air quality itself, it hasn't been impacted, which is, again, weird mixed messaging. The EPA in Allegheny County, which is, like Pittsburgh area, have found these chemicals in the air. And they didn't indicate how much, but they did say that the air quality remained the same. It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I mean, it just means that it's they can detect even like the smallest molecules in the fucking air, but as far as like, it's so small that it's not gonna hurt you.
Dude, I'm not a scientist. I'm not trying to spread fear or anything. It's just like, man, if something like that happens, it raises concern. And man, I just feel bad for everyone who's displaced. But we were talking about the weather, and I was just, fuck, man. It's almost like a nuclear winter here right now because of that train wreck. Not really. It's not that bad. But I saw weird videos of people like going there and like tossing rocks in the creeks, and out of nowhere, they look just like regular water. And all of a sudden, like all this oily shit rises to the top. And there were guys like running these fucking septic tank things in the waterways there. And like a reporter went by and he was like, hey, can you tell me what it is you guys are actually doing here? And the worker was just pointed to a phone number on a whiteboard and just said, we were told we can't talk about it. You got to call this number. And he's like, what? So they wouldn't even tell him what they're doing. Probably for legal reasons, of course, But yeah, fish are definitely just littered everywhere on the banks and all over the rivers there. It's really sad. And fish are pretty fucking resilient. So, I mean, I don't know. It makes you wonder what the fuck is happening. But I don't know. We're here to talk about video games. Man, I'm doing... Well, first of all, I'm doing well, Jake. I'm glad you're doing well. I have a long weekend. Do you have Monday off because of President's Day?
Fuck no. I only get the major holidays off. I don't get these bankers holidays off like you do.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to think about my favorite president on Monday. So... while I'm not working.
Sarah gets Monday off too. She works in the school, but
nice.
No, I worked basically every day for the past 2 weeks, including the weekend. So
yeah,
I'm just busy, but yeah, it's cool to have some time off. I envy you.
Yeah, you should. All the state workers were complaining. All the government workers were all complaining because this is the longest skid that we have to endure without. After this Monday, we have to go until Memorial Day in May without having a paid vacation, and everyone was like all like annoyed about it. Yeah, like, oh wow, now we got 3 months of going into work straight without a break. And it's actually so fucking lucky. So it's just so funny to me though. But shit, man,
you guys don't get a day off for Easter?
No, I think it's like,
that's surprising.
I think it's church and state, right? Separation of church and state or something. I think there some of those. But then you get a day off for Christmas though, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. Nothing for Easter, dude. But anyways, how about we talk about some video games? We got a good show here today. We're going to talk about PSVR 2, and we've got a great question here in a little bit from Big Box. But first, we're going to talk about games that we're playing. Jake, I booted up. Ollie Ollie World was free this month for PS Plus members. I downloaded it. It was an easy install. This game's really fucking cool. I'm not very far. I just got into the point where you grind. They teach you how to grind in the game. It's all done so far with flips of the left analog stick. I don't even think the right analog stick does anything, but it's just pushing with X, pushing the board, and then flipping left, right, up, down to launch, and then you hit left, right, up, down again, and you can grind, and you launch, and you go. And they give you kind of like a mini checklist like they do on Tony Hawk, but it's a much smaller checklist. It's like, do a heel flip over 3 bananas, and you're fucking going. There's like these weird bananas on it's one dimension. It's just you go left to right, and then you got to make sure you do the right trick over the thing, and then you check that off on the checklist. And, if you don't hit all the check boxes the first time, you can go restart, and it saves all your previous. So if you hit any check boxes on your first run, they'll stay checked. So you can kind of keep whittling away. Some of those jumps are really tough. The worlds are laid out like Mario 3, which is awesome. So the Create a Skater is awesome too. It's a very smooth interface. It's a super smooth gameplay, super, super smooth. But just the art style and everything's really, really well done. And it kind of pulls you out, and then you just go to like the next level, and then you like move the mouse and you click on the next level, and then you see your skater like skate to it, and then it opens up, and that's where you're at. And then all the story is there's a skate god. There's not much of a story. There's a skate god that keeps the balance between something and something, and the skate god apparently has to relinquish their position after so long, and they're looking for the next skater that can be the skate god. So you're like working to be the skate god, and they're holding a contest. So every level is like the judges who are like up there with the skate god, and they're just trying to pitch you tips and tricks, and like they're like, how well, can you do this? Here's how you grind. And they're like, oh yeah, you're the last entrant for the contest. Let's see what you got. So I'm kind of working my way through that tutorial, just learn grinds, and like, wow, you've got a natural ability. But they're not really talking. It's like rap, 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 rap. And then it shows like what they're saying, It's a really fucking rad game, and there's different worlds. I think the first world is probably all tutorial, and then it's all one big landmass, but it's sectioned off almost like the 5 boroughs of like New York or something. It's like boom, and then there's like levels in there, and then boom, and levels in there. It's really cool, man. It's an awesome game. I'd like to jump into it a little more. It's a game you can definitely pick up and put down real fast. There's no commitment to it. It's not time commitment. It's a really fucking rad game. And I never played the first Ollie Ollie game. Ollie Ollie World's awesome. Plugging away at Mass Effect 3. This game is not grabbing me yet. I want it to badly. And I just, so you know where I'm at, I am at the point where we get to the moon and we're trying to rescue, it's very beginning, the Arc Prime somebody, and you find out that person's dead. A minor spoiler. And then I think that is kind of the catalyst for the rest of the story. You're trying to get like this weapon piece together or something. I don't know if that's the main plot of the story or whatever, to take out the Reapers. And essentially, man, we just made it to the moon. I cleared that out. I fought some big things. I talked to the people there, and then we recruited a dude who looks like Garrus. And he's coming. He's like a big. Oh, he's like a leader.
You were the moon of Palaven, not the moon, Earth's moon.
Maybe, yeah.
You're talking about Palaven is the Turian homeworld, and it's under attack by the Reapers, and you drop on the moon to try and find.
Yeah,
and that's where you bump into Garrus, right?
Yeah, Garrus is there.
Or you've not gone that far yet.
I think Garrus is there, and then but I'm recruiting like the
Primarch or whatever.
Yeah, the tactician of the army there to come with me. And he's like, well, you know what this means. Like, I won't be here to help my army, and we'll probably die by the Reaper's hands. Or whatever. So I've just recruited that guy. Anyways.
Go
ahead.
We'll talk about it, I guess, more in the spoiler cast or whatever, but my emotions with that game were just up and down the whole time I was playing it. I like was really liking it, and then it was really dragging for me, and some things were irritating me about it, and then I was really liking it again, and then I don't know, it's I can understand after beating it, because I'll be honest, I beat this game when it came out, and I didn't remember literally anything about it. I was playing through it, and I was like, I don't remember any of this at all. But
yeah, we'll get to that in the spoiler cast. I don't know. Like, it's...
Yeah, I understand. It's understandable why it's a divisive game for Mass Effect.
Does not have its hooks in me yet at all. Like, I have no want to play it. The only want that I have to play it is so that I can get done with it so we can do the podcast about it. But maybe it'll sink its teeth into me. The other game that I picked up, I saw an advertisement, Pinball Effects, is free, and they gave you one free table. And then the other tables you buy is DLC. But I got in there and I was like, fuck, man. You know I have an Achilles heel on pinball, man. It's one of my weaknesses. When I start playing these games, I can't fucking stop. The free table they gave me, I probably played it like fucking 45 times 2 nights ago. I woke up, didn't have time to shower to go to work. Like, dude, I was fucking up till like 4 a.m. playing Pinball Effects, and I had to be up at like 6, and I just couldn't stop playing this game. Pinball's one of those games that, like, yeah, you can just, smash the flippers and like hit the ball around, but knowing how to unlock the mini games on the tables and actually beat the mini games on the tables and not lose the ball. And man, it's so fun. It's so challenging. But when you start learning the table and understanding like where to flip the flipper, how to manipulate the ball, how to get it to where you need it to go, man, it's so good. There's actually a YouTube had a trailer for maybe a new movie coming out, or it's actually a Netflix show coming out. It's actually just called Pinball, and this is relevant. Pinball used to be illegal because it was considered a game of chance. So they considered it kind of like gambling. I don't know if you could win money playing pinball, but, it was illegal in a lot of places. And this movie is about a person who got so good at a pinball machine, he took it to Congress or something and was like, I can prove this is a skill-based game and not a game of luck. And he had to play like one round of pinball and like prove that like he could just master it, and it's not luck, it's skill. And like I think he won it over, and then they delegalized pinball machines. What a fucking game! Could you imagine like you get like one chance to like be perfect? I don't know how much that's rooted in reality, but I do know that pinball was illegal for a long time. It was like considered like a gambling machine. So back to Pinball Effects. It's cool, and I'm just waiting for this to come to VR2 or something, because there'd be nothing like playing. I know they had pinball for VR, PlayStation VR, and I never tried it because that was just kind of a pain in the ass to put the headset on and get into all that shit. And at the time, I didn't want to pay for all these separate tables, and I had the ones I was really good at, like Gorgar and like the Fun House, and there were some other ones I got really good at, and those weren't on the 3D pinball for VR. But I'm willing to step into pinball in VR for sure. Hopefully Pinball Effects makes its way there, but it's free right now in the store. You can download it, and I think the free table they give you is like some sort of, it's like a Wild West themed thing where you're like a lady. It's like a lady gunslinger, and it's got all the tropes where it's just, the mean sheriff, and when you hit the ball different places, he's like, don't come back to my town again, and then you do shit, and then like she's like, I've never lost a duel yet, or something like, just stupid sayings like that make pinball fucking pinball. Those quippy lines, and like, dude, it's so fucking awesome and class. I don't think Pinball Effects tables are actually real tables. I think they're made for the game. And they have like a Borderlands table, and they have like some other shit, but the mechanics and the physics are really good. So it's really fun. And they have this online thing where this is actually really cool. Everyone who has the game can enter into a daily contest where it's like, what's the highest score you can get with one ball, one attempt? And then you just fucking play the one ball, and then as soon as your turn's over, it saves your score, and that's that for the day for that challenge. And it's an online leaderboard. They do some really cool things. It's just like, oh fuck, man. Some people could get really, really good at that, and some of the scores were just ridiculous. I tried it. did fucking terrible. But it's not on my table. Get Gorgar on there, and I'll show some people what's up. Anyways, I also purchased, Jake, a 1 terabyte SSD. I told you about this over the phone, and easy to install. Super easy if anyone's looking to do this. The reason behind this, it's in addition to the terabyte that's already on the PlayStation. This is the SSD M2 whatever RAM, not RAM but memory. And you open up the bottom. It's the bottom of the PlayStation 5, and then there's like a little cover. Each regular screwdriver, you pull it out, and the expansion slot's right there. And you just got to make sure your RAM has a heatsink on it. If it doesn't, don't fucking install it. Just make sure. I know WD is the brand that I got. But you just take it, and then you actually have to unscrew this spacer that they already have in that slot because all the RAM are different lengths. So you just have to find out where the spacer is going to line up with the RAM you're putting in and put the spacer down after you unscrew it, and then just chip in your fucking RAM and just lay it down and screw it in, and then put the top back on it and put your covers back on, and you power it up, and it's like, hey, we've detected the M2 whatever SSD of this amount. It needs formatted. You want to format it? And you're like, yeah, and now it's just ready. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't tell the PlayStation 5 to you tell it where you want it to install games. So right now I have it installing games to my just regular hard drive. But if I want it to install games on the expanded drive, I have to go into settings and tell it to do that, which is annoying. So it's like you have to like actually manage what games go on that. I just wanted to know, like, hey, listen, use the main drive first. If it's full, put it on the fucking expansion. Like, I don't want to have to go in and flip a switch in the settings so it knows what to do. That's kind of annoying. But I want to put all my PSVR games on my console that I buy for PSVR 2 because this was my reason behind it, because they're kind of showpieces. Like, if you have guests, I don't want to have to, like, re-download a VR2 game just to show somebody how cool it is. And I just want them at my availability. And I'm not having issues with memory right now. I had to delete a couple things here and there to install, I think, Grand Theft Auto 5 at one point, or to install some of these bigger downloads. But for the most part, I'm getting it mainly so that I can just house some VR2 games without feeling like I'm imposing upon my regular gaming. So that was my purpose behind it. But it's really easy. If anyone has any questions, YouTube has tons of videos about it. You can write us. I can give you some advice on it. It was super simple, but I would just reference YouTube videos because people know a lot more about that shit than I do. But I just followed some stuff that I saw in there. Sony has a really good video on how to do it. Just follow it, check it out. If you want to expand it, it's super. Just make sure the solid state stuff that you're getting is compatible with the PS5, and there's a heatsink, and then it should be just really simple. And it was for me. Jake, what have you been playing? What have you been doing gaming wise?
I forgot. You've been talking for so long.
I had a lot of shit going on this week, man.
Taking fucking 20 minutes to explain your pinball and is it a Western Digital Black hard drive
yes.
SSD that you bought?
Yeah.
Those are good hard drives. But yeah, you're right. Once you pop the cover off, M2 drives are like stupid easy to install. You literally just push it in, push it down, put a screw in, you're done. So simple. But
there's no wires
because they use the same interface on PCs now. So it's like the SSD in my PC has the same interface.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I beat Mass Effect 3, so I have been playing. I started Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm not very far in it. I'm probably the save file says 2 hours, but that's not right. I wonder if it's like, because it's not in minutes, it's in hours. So I wonder if, like, you know, I could be 2 hours and 59 minutes, but it just says 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've definitely played it more than 2 hours, but it's cool. I'm excited to play more of it. I haven't gotten really far in it. If anyone's played this game, they know that it's got like a really long kind of starting section, because there's like, you do this like initial kind of little adventure with this guy as you're on your way to school, and then you have to get your what house you're in, and then you have to get introduced to your first classes, and then you have to go get all of your gear, and then so like it's like a few hours, 3 or 4 hours before the world even opens up to you. And so I'm not even quite there yet. I think I'm probably around 3 hours in, and I just, for people who have played the game, I just finished the part where you go to Hogsmeade and you get all of your stuff, like your wand and all that shit. So I did my first couple of classes and all this crap. But it's awesome. The game is really impressive. I don't know a lot about this Avalanche Studios, but I will say that just in terms of like the style and the stuff that you do and like the world and Hogwarts and everything, it's all so whimsical, and they do a really good job of like, I never read any of the books, I just watched the movies, but they do a really good job of like capturing the atmosphere. And Sarah was watching me play it a little bit, and she picked up on a whole bunch of stuff even in the first couple of hours that were like, that people that read the books and stuff would know what it is. Like
so it's like a love letter to Harry Potter in a way.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely a fan servicey type game, but it also seems like it's very cool. The combat seems like it could be really fun. There's like all these different, you can dodge and parry and block, and you have to use different types of spells to like counteract different enemies, like defenses and stuff like that. And just the look of everything's really cool. The graphics are like good and bad at the same time. Like they're good, but like everything's really stylized. So some things maybe don't look quite as good as others.
Yeah.
If you turn on like the ray tracing, fidelity with ray tracing, everything looks really good, but I can't fucking stand to play the game at a lower frame rate. So I'm just running it on performance mode, and it still looks really good. Honestly, the one presentational gripe about it that I have so far is that we forget playing these Sony first party games about things like how important good audio mix is in a game.
Yeah.
Where like, if you think about a game like The Last of Us or something, or even God of War or whatever, when you're running around, like shit feels spatially correct and all of that when you're running around. And in this game, there are certain instances where it's a little bit jarring. Like there's not enough nuance to like the spatial awareness of the audio. And that might be kind of a weird way to say it, but it seems like the audio could have been mixed a little bit better for this game. But maybe they just, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's one of the drawbacks of this game. I don't know. But all in all, I'm really happy with it so far, and I'm excited to go back in and play some more of it. The only other gripe I have about it, and to me, this is like, I don't understand how this happened. In game, so there's two things. In game, you can't change the graphics mode from like fidelity to performance and all that. Right. If you change it, you have to completely exit out of the game to your PlayStation 5 home screen and then restart the game before the changes take effect.
That's so stupid.
You can't just change it in the menu and then go back to playing it, which is annoying, but I only did it once, then back to switch it back to performance mode. So it wasn't a huge deal. The other thing is I cannot fucking stand it when a game doesn't let you pause during cutscenes. Because some of the cutscenes, at least at the beginning of this game, are pretty long. And so like there was an instance last night where I was trying to get some this game kind of started before I went to my hockey game, and I had to leave, but I was like in the middle of the fucking sorting hat section. Yeah. So I have to like put my PS5 in rest mode and hope that like it doesn't. Now granted, there's a whole bunch of autosaves. You don't lose a bunch of place or whatever. So it's not like a huge deal. But it's like in today's day and age, you should be able to pause anywhere in the game, cutscenes, anything like that. I don't understand why you can't.
I agree.
The other thing is that there is no way in game for you to turn off the adaptive triggers, which for me is a problem because I understand that people really like them. I fucking hate playing with the adaptive triggers on. Especially when you're doing like all these button mashy things with the triggers and stuff in the combat and everything, I don't want the controller to be fighting me while I'm playing the game. And that I know that's a personal preference. A lot of people, most people even probably like having it on, but the fact that I can't turn it off in the menu and I have to actually go into my PS5 system settings and turn off adaptive triggers for everything in order to have it off in this game. It's kind of like you were talking about with the SSD where you install your games and stuff. Like there are things that I shouldn't have to go into the fucking settings on the PS5 to change it. It should be in the game. Like button mapping should be in every single game. I shouldn't have to.
Games, yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to do this shit in like my PS5 system settings. But those are very small gripes for what I consider so far anyway to be a really interesting kind of experience. And I will say so unrelated to Hogwarts is that, do you remember this game? We saw it at some conference or so I don't remember where it was. It was like E3 or something. This game Witchfire. Yeah. And it was the one that looked like
Hexen?
It looks like Doom and Hexen, kind of like, very kinetic, kind of Doom-like, modern Doom-like combat, but it had like this.
Yeah, it looked great.
Almost like Wild West kind of style to it. / like medieval. I don't know. It was really weird. Anyway, IGN just put up not that long ago a combat trailer for it where it was just like 2 minutes of them kind of explaining the game, and it looks so fucking cool. I was just watching this trailer and thinking like, man, this game looks so dope, and it's going into early access soon, which I'd rather wait till it comes out to play it, but yeah, I hope it comes out sometime this year because that would be or early next year or something, because I'm really excited for it. But yeah, anyway, well, dude, that's all I got.
Let me tell you something. Back to Hogwarts. It's something happened that really pissed me off. Something. Let me tell you what grinds my gears, Jacob. Peter Griffin. So here's the deal. In case you didn't know. One of my favorite episodes of Family Guy. So I'm scrolling through Facebook. None of my friends play video games on Facebook. You're like the only one. Maybe LJ is friends with me on Facebook. No one ever talks video games on my Facebook feed. Someone takes it upon themselves to post a meme of Bart Simpson writing on the chalkboard. And you're like, okay, I'll read this. This is funny. And by the time you get to the end of it, you realize it's the end of Hogwarts Legacy, how the game ends. And then they write a game definitely worth spoiling. Like anti-J.K. Rowling. So like I know how Hogwarts Legacy ends because I got duped into reading the ending because I thought it was a Simpsons meme. And I was so fucking pissed off. And I unfollowed, I unfriended the person. I straight up unfriended him.
This has been a really big problem.
I'm so fucking mad.
Recently, people have been purposefully like just bamboozling people with the ending of this game, trying to spoil it for everyone and all this stuff. And it was like the same shit with The Last of Us when people were trying to spoil that for everybody. But at least like when The Last of Us thing happened, a lot of the shit that was out there was just wrong. Yeah. But I'm guessing this is people correct. Are just straight up fucking spoiling the end of the game.
Yeah, and the person on my friend list had the audacity to write a game definitely worth spoiling. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You don't even play fucking video games. This is the first video game post I've ever seen you make. And now you want to fucking take a stance about something? Like now you want to talk about a video game? Like fuck off. Like I'm sorry, I was so mad. I was so annoyed. And it was just like some girl I went to high school with. It was just like class of 99 that like I think it invited me to like a class reunion at one point, and I haven't gone to one of them, but I was on their friends list, or we were friends with her. I fucking straight up unfriended. Like, so fucking irritating, man. And I wasn't gonna play Hogwarts, but like, what if it comes out? I don't know. What if I wanted to now? Like it's like, fuck, man. I don't even really want to. I don't know. It's annoying.
It's weird because the thing that bothers me the most is, like, in my opinion, if you don't want to support the game, don't support the game. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you hate J.K. Rowling, hate J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, go for it.
That's fine. But this whole freaking, scorched earth shit that people are doing, like telling other people what they're allowed to like and not allowing people to make their own decisions. I mean, it's insane. And the one saving grace that there is that I guess you can kind of take solace in is that because of people like that person that you went to high school with, this game is going to sell way more copies than it normally would have. And those developers are going to be really successful because of it. And you're almost guaranteed to get another one.
Yeah.
So it's so annoying. It's like why do people think that the way to it's not like, I don't know. It's like people think that the way to destroy something is to be upset about it and call all this attention to it. Whenever they do that, it just ends up becoming. That's why people always say all press is good press. All press is good press, right? Because it's like, if think about it, like a really shitty game like Naughty Bear or something like that came out on PS3. Like,
it was
that game fucking sucks. Yeah. But because everybody was talking about it,
it sold.
I think they made a second one because it sold. So, like, I mean, I don't know,
dude. Like, just for instance,
we don't have to talk about this every fucking week, but
it's fine. But like, another thing that I ran across, and like, again, I'm not even looking up Hogwarts shit. Like, I'm just on my fucking Reddit feed, and somebody quoted this fucking quote that somebody posted, and they were like ripping on, just all this fucking shit. I'm not even going to go into details, but then the person retweets or resends out this message, and they literally write, I just don't understand where people's prerogatives are. Like, we're not going to get political about it, but it's just like, they say, and I'm like, okay, they're right. I've been trying to get away from any activism that focuses on people's roles as consumers and not as workers. Also, there are way bigger fish to fry right now than whether or not someone buys a video game. I'm like, all right, cool, I get it. But then they followed up with, but I do have to say that if you're still giving money to J.K. Rowling and her dopey franchise, you're probably a bad person. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you saying? Like, you're literally on one hand saying that there's bigger fish to fry, but you can't fucking hold your tongue. You can't fucking go on without saying anything. It's just annoying. I'm not going to name the person. I don't even know who they fucking are. But it's just like, I'm so sick of it. I'm just sick of it. First of all, J.K. Rowling has more money than any of us will ever understand. So, like, not buying this video game, like, we don't know what kind of agreement she was into or how much she sold the licensing of this game to, I can't remember the company who made it. But, like, we don't even know the behind the scenes agreement. Like, is she getting a kickback? If she is, was it a one-time fee? Like they did with the fucking dude from The Witcher, where you're like, okay, here you go. Here's your money. The money's already hers. Maybe she doesn't get anything from the game sales. Maybe that money just goes to the developers. Who fucking knows? So, like, all these people are making these fucking stances. And it's like, man, make your stance, do your thing, but please stop preaching. Like, I just don't want to hear it. Like, it's just annoying.
I just find it so funny that people just like people think that they're making a difference, and like, I know that sounds,
and they
really
probably are to a degree, like cynical. For someone, right? Someone maybe is impacted by this. I mean, there's no voice until there's a voice, right? You can't just be quiet if you want a thing to be in the ears of, if you want to bring something if you want to bring awareness to an issue, the only way to do that is to bring it up. The only way to do that is to talk about it. And I get it. 100% I get it. And I don't disagree with a lot of the shit that's been said about, like, you know, J.K. Rowling and whatever her shit is. But, like, the bottom fucking line is, dude, just there's so much more to this than like padding the coffers of J.K. Rowling, right? There's so many other things at play in this situation. And I could take it a step further and just be like, okay, do you play Marvel games? Do you fucking go to the theater to watch Marvel movies? Because that's owned by fucking Disney, and Walt Disney was a fucking known racist. So anything you fucking support of fucking Marvel, you're supporting the Disney family, which was found on racism, right? You could
not to mention they whitewash all their movie posters in China and it's just like all this crazy shit.
It's almost fucking impossible to be a consumer and still keep some sense of like complete 100% fucking whatever you want to call it, right? Like some moral fucking pedestal that you can be on, right? Like the clothes you fucking wear, to the fucking phones that you fucking use, to the fucking PlayStations that are made where, by who, by what. Like, you fucking kidding me? Like, people spent years of their lives making this game. We don't even know if J.K. Rowling was directly involved. In fact, we've been told that she wasn't involved with the making of the game. It's her license. It's her thing. We don't know how much money she got. I'm just so sick of it, dude. that's all I want to say. We can move on with the show. It's just fucking annoying. That's all. I'm just annoyed by it.
I think what bothers me the most is not that these people are obviously the spoiler thing is insane, but I think what bothers me the most is that I guarantee you that there are people that have been literally bullied out of playing this game.
Oh, 100%.
Like by their friends or family members or whatever. And to me, it's just like
imagine going like somebody's making a hold on. Somebody's make a meme of somebody going into GameStop with a disguise trying to buy this game, like incognito, so they don't get caught buying the fucking game by their friends or whatever. Like that would be a funny meme. Sorry, just go ahead.
It would be really fun, like in a trench coat with
hiding it under your pillow at night, like hiding it in your pillow, looking at it with the lights out, like, oh fuck, I can play. You know, getting out of bed at 4 a.m. to play it, so no one knows you're playing it. Disabling your internet access and no one knows you're popping trophies. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think it's okay. It's okay to separate the art from the artist. This is not even taken in, like, let's say even if J.K. Rowling was directly involved in the game, and even if half of what's on the internet that people are saying about her is true, because it's so muddled. Like, the information about what actually happened with her is so muddled, it's hard to know what's real and what's not.
Yeah. I think she said some fucked up shit, to be honest. But yeah.
And she has, and there's no defending that.
Right.
But, like, it's just, like, you can separate the art from the artist. It's not like if you grew up liking Harry Potter and it means something to you, you shouldn't be like ostracized because after J.K. Rowling got rich, she said some shit that people don't like.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It frustrates me so much because, you know, it's almost like fucking book burning and shit. You know
I
what
have
mean? Like,
straight up stopped supporting bands when I found out the band members were fucking pieces of shit, though. Like, maybe that's because I'm more close to that because I am a musician myself. And, like, you know,
I think there are degrees, though, right? There are degrees.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I said you have to make your own decision.
Yeah, it's up to everybody as a person. You shouldn't be fucking told what to like.
Yeah, if you can't support it, don't support it.
Right.
But don't tell somebody else what they can and cannot do, like, or what they should and should not like.
That's the crux of this whole thing.
Like, mind your own fucking business. Moral of the story.
Have your opinion. That's fine. You know, you can even share it, but don't fucking, I don't know.
And at the same time, I think it's kind of ridiculous, these freaking people on the other side that are going out and buying like 10 copies of the game.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Contrarian. Like, I think that's kind of stupid.
It is stupid.
But, like, I mean, I don't know. I just people. I just hope that let me just say this. I like the game so far. Yeah. I like the game so far. I'm excited for Avalanche Studios. This is a team that's not ever made anything this big in this forward facing before. And I hope it does well for them. It seems like it's going to. And I'm excited to play more of it. I mean, I'm not even the biggest Harry Potter fan. I always kind of honestly thought that the magic, not magic itself, but the way that Harry Potter portrays magic, I always thought was kind of silly.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I really liked the world and kind of the whimsy and the kind of like sort of weird time dilation shit that's going on with like the atmosphere versus like the period of time it actually takes place in. It's kind of like, did you ever watch Riverdale?
No.
Or Sabrina? No. So like
Chelsea
they both
watched,
take place in
Riverdale.
So they both take place in the what they call like the Archieverse, which is like the Archie comics, like that universe. And it's like this weird juxtaposition of time where like all of the people in the show have modern cell phones, but everybody's driving around like 1970s vehicles. Like it's like this weird shit where they mash it all up and it just is cool. I don't know. Let's talk about something
dude.
else. I don't want to talk about this
we're
anymore.
not even into listener feedback yet, and we're 46 minutes in. Sorry, I went on a tirade a little bit there, but it's just, dude, it's about video games, and it's just been fucking irritating me. I'm so angry that's spoiled for me. Let's get into listener feedback. So this is such a cool question, and this is probably what we should have been dumping our fucking energy into, and not this Harry Potter bullshit. But I do appreciate your input on the game, Jake. But Big Box writes in. Thanks for writing in, Big Box. He says, I don't know who's responsible for creating those TED Talks. Parentheses, are they still a thing? But if you were approached by someone and they offered you $20,000 to pick the last truly great game you played and give a 60-minute TED Talk on it, what title are you choosing and why? And then bonus, would it be hard for you to get to minute 60, i.e. running out of things to say? He says he's asking because as he gets older, he's starting to notice entire years go by where nothing really truly impresses me. I think the last title I was floored by was Fortnite in 2017. I don't want to get jaded, but is it inevitable? ? Stay good, my dudes. Thanks for writing, Big Box. I've played a lot of really good games since 2017, personally. And for $20,000, I just about fucking do anything. So I could definitely talk for 60 minutes about a video game, for sure. Whether or not it would be good, what I had to say, I would stretch that shit out to like 61 minutes if I had to. But yeah, dude, I think for me, Jake, I think for me, the easiest answer for me would probably be a 60-minute fucking discussion about The Last of Us Part 2. Number one, because the game's like 20 plus hours, I felt like. And there's so many themes and so many things going on in that game. Character building and to the art, to the fucking music, to the setting, to the... just everything about that game is so interesting to me. You could even touch into the first Last of Us, talk about, the whole concept behind, games and how they've progressed to more than just being games. I would definitely want to pick a game that has some story because not everyone's a gamer. So if you're just going to talk about game mechanics and game UI and game whatever, features, that's going to fall short with a lot of people. I think you got to have a game with a lot of story to do a TED Talk on it. And then go deeper into the story. But
I think we're assuming here though that the audience is listening to whatever the fuck you have to say. So if you want to talk about how the guns feel in this particular game for 60 minutes, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, it's not about pleasing the audience. It's about like what game did you truly love, and if you had to speak for 60 minutes on it in general, like could you do it? And clearly, we've demonstrated in this podcast alone that we can fucking ramble about bullshit for 60 minutes, no problem, let alone a game we actually care about.
I would go Darkest Dungeon or The Witcher or Last of Us Part 2. Those would be the three games, probably.
Woo! I'm just kind of scrolling.
It's a great question. It's a good conversation, I think.
I would say he says like the last. So like this is like a 2-part question. He talks about the last truly great game he's ever played. Like
was
he's
Fortnite.
played. He's talking about Fortnite, and it's, to me, I think that there is what Big Box is explaining. It's kind of hard to put too much of a pin in it because I don't know what type of a gamer he is and what types of games he likes. Right. But in my opinion, there have been a bunch of truly amazing games that have come out since 2017. And I think that a lot of the issue is that we're just so blessed with the games that we're getting now that everybody is just fucking jaded. Like you can't, like, it's hard to impress somebody anymore with a video game.
Yeah, I don't think it's your age,
like, okay.
Man. I don't think it's that you're getting older. I really, because at the end he asks, starting to notice entire years go by, and he's just like, I don't want to get jaded, but it's inevitable. I think that the jadedness just comes from the amount of quality. And if you're looking for a new experience and you haven't tried VR, that shit will knock your socks off if you ever get a chance. And maybe you have, but dude, that for me was like next fucking level shit when I first tried it. And I was like, this is insane. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know, Jake, 'cause I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying, like, you got to find something to get excited about is all. And VR is probably not a bad avenue, but we're going to have a VR discussion this podcast, so you can tune in and stick around for that. But Jake, what game would you pick? Like if you had to pick a game, I listed 3. I think I would still fall in Last of Us Part 2 because that game just fucking straight up affected me. But
yeah, The Last of Us is so good, but I mean, even
it's the obvious choice.
If you want to talk for 60 minutes about a game, if I'm going to go like outside of the box, but like a game that I really enjoyed that I didn't expect to love so much, something like Immortals Phoenix Rising, or, you could think about, I could probably go for a while on something like Returnal, which I thought was like a really surprising game that I do, to be fair, I do not like. I've categorically established on this show that I do not like roguelike games.
Right.
And 2 of the best games I've played since the PS5 came out are Returnal and Deathloop, and both of those are roguelike games. So, it's one of those things. And like another example of something, I don't know. I think it's just, as gamers, sometimes I think we need to take a step back and think about where we came from and what the games are that we're getting now compared to what they used to be. I mean, since 2017, we've had Ghost of Tsushima. We've had God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. We've had, and like I said, I don't know what type of a gamer Big Box is. Maybe he's not into the cinematic first person, typical really Sony first party type game.
Yeah, what tickles your funny bone?
Like, I'm even thinking about a game like fucking Shredder's Revenge, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That game is fantastic. Fucking awesome. Yeah, so like even Axiom Verge 2, I just got done playing that. While I won't say that it's as good as the first one, in my opinion, it's still an amazing game. And I mean, I don't know, man. I could talk about fucking video games forever. Cyberpunk, you're talking about Cyberpunk had a lot of controversy around it, but there is no denying that Cyberpunk 2077, when it's running correctly, is one of the most impressive games that has been made in the past fucking ever.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, from the perspective of like a first person open world RPG. So I don't know, man. I think that a little bit of this has to do with just us as gamers being jaded and just needing to take a little bit of a look at where we're at and where we came from. And it sounds like if he really likes Fortnite and that was the last game that blew him away, maybe
Ratchet and Clank was really good.
Well, he might be more of like a multiplayer, like gameplay focused, like forward kind of gameplay loop kind of thing. And I would say that maybe he's not super into shooters, for example.
Yeah.
But I would say that Destiny has gotten really amazing.
The
in
latest
past
Warzone 2.0
4 or
was
5
good.
years.
I don't know where it's at now. I
I
heard it's kind of going back downhill, but I don't really know. I don't have any good advice on that. If you're trying to get us to recommend a game, I just think that dude, is the big box. The older we get, everything starts feeling less impressive. I'm 41. I am surprised by so little, and I get excited about so little at this age. Things don't usually knock me off my center. I'm very kind of flatline about things, very even temperament. I don't get stoked. I don't get disappointed. I've learned to accept, I think I said this last episode, expect the worst and kind of just roll with whatever good comes my way. Video game wise, I mean, it's a hobby. It's something to enjoy. Find a game, do some research. I would be curious to hear what game you would pick for a TED Talk. It's a fantastic question. I really appreciate the time you took into sending us this question. I just don't know how to better answer it than Last of Us 2. I mean, it deals with humanity. It deals with the human condition. It deals with loss. It deals with grief. It deals with a lot of things that I just naturally gravitate towards. There's violence. There's love. Obviously, there's so many human emotions in that game. You even have dogs in it, and there's the art direction, everything, the UI, everything was just so fucking pinpoint. I think the game was a little long for sure, but I mean, there's even like some references to guitar and music and how important that can be, and like just, I don't know, learning to be independent, learning to take the reins. A lot of topics, a lot of themes in that game that I think you could easily fill 60 minutes on, and it might be a cheap way out for me because I think it would be easy to do that. But if you're inviting us to do a TED Talk for $20,000, I'm in. Just I'll give you the address to send the cash to, and I'll put together a presentation for you. I kid, but that would be dope. I don't know how TED Talks work, dude. I have no idea. I think you sign up. I think TED Talks is just a thing. And you create it, and then you hold it and hope that people sign up for it and pay to hear you talk about it. I think people sign up for those things based on your credentials, right? So we would have a very difficult time having people pay to hear us talk about games when we can barely do it for free for people. So, Jake, you want to move forward, or do you want to have anything else you'd like to say about this?
Nope. Let's keep going.
All right. So I wanted to do a PSVR 2 conversation for the podcast, and it's important to me that we do this so it's timely. Jake, you and I both have had shipping notifications. I know our listener LJ got a VR unit on the way. He's getting his on Tuesday. He's getting his on fucking Tuesday, and he just ordered it. Mine says that UPS is still waiting for the package to send on its way to me. They're still waiting. The printing the shipping slip is like generated, but they don't have it in hand yet. So the estimated delivery date is Wednesday the 22nd. I think Wednesday's the 22nd. That's the date that the system is supposed to release. And I'm kind of disappointed. I'm happy for LJ, but disappointed that he's going to have it a day early somehow. But we both have it pre-ordered. I'd be curious to see what your tracking says. And it cleared.
Let's see, I'll pull it up.
It cleared. Right. It said, thank you for your purchase. Here's the tracking number. So there were no issues with the bank, which I was worried about because they flagged it initially when I did the pre-order because it was such a large amount. I think.
Yeah, it just says Wednesday.
But if you click on the actual tracking where it says UPS, click on that, it'll give you more info. But so the thing that's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. It just says the label was created.
Yeah, same here. LJ straight up said, en route, be there on the Tuesday. Fucking asshole. It's awesome though. I'm so happy
he's
got
lying
it.
to you.
Yeah, he just photoshopped that to send it to my way to make me envious.
My Sense controller charging station is on its way too.
Fancy. What I did do today also when I took down that out my PS5 that I cleaned it out, but I also got rid of all of the PSVR stuff and I put it in a bag and it's now up in my attic. I didn't keep the original box for some reason, but it is so nice to have the breakout box, the fucking camera, all those extra wires just gone. Like, it's so nice to have them out of the way. I was gonna sell that shit on eBay because I have no use for it, and I was like, well, maybe like someone will fucking hack it. But like, I got on eBay, there are so many PSVRs on sale, like coupled with games and fucking controllers and charging stations for like $130. It's ridiculous for what they're getting sold for. Like, it's a fucking steal if you want a PSVR. Go on eBay right now because everyone getting a VR2 is trying to offload their old shit. And just fucking check it out. That's a little hot tip for you. But just remember, it doesn't work very well with the PS5. But we both have the VR2 pre-ordered, and we have our shipping notifications. So first thing I want to talk about, Jake, is our expectations for VR2. What do we want to see for the future of this unit? And is it possible that this VR2 is going to share either the same fate of VR or the same fate as PS Vita? And what do we need this time around to keep it from having maybe not the best fate? Shipped, I think I paid about $580 for it after shipping. So it turned out to be,
sounds right.
After taxes. Sorry, after taxes. They charge taxes. So I'll start. My expectations are this thing's going to be fucking crystal clean. It's going to be nice. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be responsive. The Sense controller is going to be really, really fucking rad. And it's just going to be the next fucking thing. I don't expect the jump to be so wildly incredible that I'm like, holy fucking shit. I expect it to be plug it in, set it up, fucking play. No breakout box, no cameras, no fucking weird locomotion issues with moving and stuff. We got the Sense controllers. I expect it to be a cut above VR. And what do I want to see in the future for this? I want to see more Sony fucking products, games, first-party games developed specifically for this, and good ones, not just like fucking half-ass things. Shit like Blood and Truth, shit like fucking, I don't know, Half-Life Alyx, but maybe Resistance or something. And I would like to see Half-Life Alyx come to VR too. So I think we need more AAA titles for the VR2 to keep the momentum, get people buying the thing, get people interested. Right now, the only awesome AAA title that we technically have, first party, is Horizon. And some people have kind of said it's kind of they don't like to use glorified tech demo, but they said like, there is a story. It's about climbing this mountain, is the idea of it. And from what I understand, it's really fun. But there's not much of a story. They said the story's fine, but it's not like, but it is longer. It's like maybe 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours or something, 8 to 10 hours. I don't know. But this dude named Blessing on games, kind of funny games or something I've scoured the internet on PSVR 2 reviews, and he seems pretty impressed with it. And, but, I think the consensus among a lot of websites is like, we're going to need some fucking games for this thing. A lot of the games being offered now are already available in VR, and they're just like upgrades for VR2. I want some fucking shit made for it that's going to really capitalize on it. Jake, what do you think? What are your expectations? What do you think the future is going to be like, and what do we need to keep it from going down the path of the Vita or going down the path of the regular VR unit, which did okay, but there wasn't a lot of first-party shit for it?
I don't expect this thing to be as successful as the Quest because the barrier of entry is too high. I think that where this game is going, where the VR unit is going, the problem is that the way that Sony developed this and the way that they priced it, in my opinion, it's forever going to be shoehorned in as a PS5 peripheral. It's not going to be like the thing, you know what I mean? It's not like on the Quest, you're playing the Quest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas on VR2, you're playing PS5 with the VR headset. And yes, there are games that you need the VR headset to play, just like you needed the light gun to play Duck Hunt.
Right.
So like, I think that we're unfortunately going to be in that sort of zone. And like you said, without getting games like, think about Half-Life Alyx. I know we keep coming back to this fucking game, but if we were to get Half-Life Alyx, it would be the cheapest way that you could play that game. A PS5 with a VR2 could play Half-Life Alyx cheaper than a PC with a VR unit could.
Right.
And it would be easier, right? Because you wouldn't have to have all the, you don't have to build a PC, you wouldn't have to do all the installs and all this weird shit.
Per the Pavlov team, it's going to run better than a PC VR headset right now.
Yes, because they can optimize it for one platform as opposed to a bunch of different video cards, a bunch of different whatevers. So my expectation is this unit is going to be awesome. It's going to work really well. I don't think it's going to be it's going to share the same fate as the Vita, because I think Sony prematurely killed the Vita due to security issues. But I don't think that this thing is going to sell 50 million units or something like that. It's probably going to sell, once the PlayStation 5 becomes like permeates the wild, now that it's more available and people can go to the store and buy one, I would say maybe it'll sell 10 million units.
You think it'll sell that many?
Even. That might
for
be
the
being
lifetime
optimistic.
of it, or like you think
for the lifetime of it, yeah. Because VR, I think, sold like 5 lifetime, and if there's more PS5s out there, and they're able to get more AAA games, and Sony is more committed with their first party, like it seems like they might be, maybe we can get 10 out of it, because it is a much better headset. This is a order of magnitude better than what we got the first time around.
So you're thinking we're gonna put this fucking thing on and be like, holy shit, this is awesome. Again,
I think since our last experience, I have not played a Vive, I have not played an Oculus. Since my last experience was VR1 for PlayStation, I think that VR2 is going to be an order of magnitude better in terms of the quality of the imagery. I might be being a little optimistic, but I do think that it's going to struggle on the sales front. And I hope that doesn't mean – I hope that it sells enough that Sony keeps it alive and keeps supporting it. But I do agree with you that they need to come around with some bangers for games and really get it kind of in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. I mean, some of the games we're going to talk about here in a minute, I think are all going to help. But I want to see games that were developed specifically for VR2. And I want Sony to pay developers to do this. And I think,
to be honest with you, it could be a game like Gran Turismo 7 is what sells it.
Well, dude, there's a ton of people that love that game, dude. People are all in on it.
And it's exclusive.
Right.
And it's exclusive. So, I don't know, man. I honestly bought Gran Turismo 7 specifically to play it in VR.
You and me, man. And I heard.
So,
well, here's a pro tip to anybody, and maybe Play by Ken can comment on this if he's still tuning in. I'm sure he is. Hopefully we haven't offended anybody yet on the podcast and they walked away. I don't think we've said anything rude to anybody yet, but I'm always worried that like the very minimal amount of listeners that we get, we're going to say some bullshit that's going to send them flying. But no, Play by Ken may be able to understand this, or maybe he can chime in and say yes. There's about a 10-minute intro video for Gran Turismo 7, and the only way to get past it is to disable it in the menu, the intro video. So most times when you get an intro video in a game, they maybe force you to watch it the first time and then you just click past it. It's my understanding there's a 10-minute video or something that you get subjected to. I don't know if it's while the game's
Every
loading.
time you start the game?
Somebody posted some shit on Reddit, dude. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I can't believe that.
I'm just saying.
Every time you start the fucking game?
I can't fucking vouch for it. This is just what I've read.
They hold you hostage for 10 minutes?
Somebody said the only way to disable it is to go into the settings in the menu and turn off the intro video or something, which sounds ridiculous. But
I guess
when you power your VR unit on for the first time, your VR2, and you power up Gran Turismo 7, just be warned that it's going to be a little bit until game time. It might serve you best to turn that fucker on now and get through that 10-minute video.
And go get a sandwich.
Go buy a sandwich, a hoagie. Go get a hoagie, and then come back in 10 minutes. Or probably watch it. I bet you it's a badass video, to be honest. They love their cars.
It's probably cool. Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next point about VR2. I just had in the notes here, Jake, and I just wanted to go over real quick the games we're most interested in because at launch. Because honestly, games are going to be an issue with this thing until I think we're going to keep getting them. I think they're going to roll them out. I think they probably have a lined up schedule. We're going to get a state of play probably. We're going to get some surprises. We're going to get some bangers that come out. But right now, a lot of the games are already out for VR. And these are just like refined for VR2, or they're just a free upgrade for VR2. The ones that I'm almost certain I'm going to purchase are Moss Book 2, Kayak Mirage VR, which is the kayaking sim game, which I hear is just so fucking awesome. Song in the Smoke, which is the survival game we talked about last episode. And Switchback VR, which is the on-rails, the scary roller coaster game. And that doesn't come out, though, until March 16th. There's a big video on the PlayStation blog, I believe, where they interview the company who made this. And they talk about the eye tracking. They talk about the scene where there's these fucking mannequins. And as soon as you blink or close your eyes and open them back up, they get fucking closer. And they fucking get closer. So it's like it's playing on your fucking ability to like keep your eyes open. And that's fucking dope. That's cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Which game is that for?
Switchback VR. It's the supermassive like scary roller coaster game.
Yeah.
So I already have No Man's Sky, which is going to be VR2 upgraded. I already have Resident Evil Village, which is coming with a free upgrade. And then I also now have Gran Turismo 7. So those are the 7 games out of the gate that and they're running deals on Moss right now and Kayak Mirage up until February 22nd, which is when the VR headset releases. So if you're going to get those games, just fucking do it now and save yourself some dollars. And Song in the Smoke is not on sale. And Switchback VR might be on sale, but it's a pre-order. So I don't know. You do what you want. But games that I'm interested in, but I'm not going to buy right away. City Skylines sounds cool. Like building those cities. Like if you can fucking walk around in the city that you're managing would be fucking dope. I don't know if you can. That would be cool. The Pavlov VR game looks kind of nice. Pistol Whip is a rhythm shooting game that's out already on VR, but it's being upgraded for VR2. I've never played it. It's always been on my list. Horizon Call of the Mountain obviously is on my list, but I'm not paying fucking $60, $70 for it. And this is the problem. If we don't support it, they're not going to make these AAA games moving forward. But I just don't know what it is yet. And I think there's other games I'm more excited about. Demio, which is the role-playing game, I found out requires online play with another person. So that's moved down on my list. You can't single-handedly play it by yourself. There's no single player. LJ said he might pick it up, and if he does, I think his brother-in-law is going to get Demio also. We can run 3 people in a dungeon. And Jake, if you get it, we can go foursies. It'd be fucking dope. But anyways, Kizuna Touch the Beat is a Beat Saber clone. I never played Beat Saber. It was the bee's knees, apparently. I don't think Beat Saber's on PSVR 2 yet. And then if they ever come out with any pinball games, Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy looks kind of, I don't know why it says edged at the end. Is that what it's called? Galaxy's Edge.
Tales of the Galaxy Edge.
Yeah. That game looks rad. And the Tale of Ano Goro is an adventure game. And it's getting great reviews on Steam. Apparently is awesome. And then Zenith The Last City is that open world MMO in VR that I guess plays like Genshin Impact. So those are some of the games I'm interested in, but I'm not going to buy right away. I know, Jake, I'm kind of surprising you with this list. Maybe you can just comment on some of these, or if there are any on this list that maybe you have thought about, or maybe on the list that you don't have, or that you have that aren't on the list, rather. I'd like to hear what you're most interested in trying out on VR when you get it. Obviously, Gran Turismo 7.
I think I'm gonna pick up the Moss bundle because I played the demo for the first game, but I never played the whole game. So I think I'm gonna get the bundle for like $35 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I thought my understanding is that Pistol Whip is really good, and so I'm interested in trying that out. And then I would be interested in playing Call of the Mountain, but I'm with you. I don't know if I'm ready to pay full price for it. I
gotta look it up.
I have to see. I don't even care about that. I don't care how long it is. I just want to know. I hope they give you like a demo disc or something with this thing, with some, a little bit of like a taste of some of this stuff.
6 to 8 hours.
They've announced if they're going to do it
for Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain.
Yeah,
that's pretty good for a VR game. I think that's long enough.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. And obviously, I think the shooty games like Pavlov VR are all real fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that. And obviously GT7, we've already talked about how we both purchased that.
Dude, we got to race each other in VR, dude. It's going to be so fucking dope.
I have not hooked up my VR since No Man's Sky got the VR mode. So I really do want to boot up No Man's Sky and try that. Because
same.
I like No Man's Sky is good now even without VR. So being able to fly around a fucking spaceship and shit with VR might be
Start
pretty
a
dope,
brand new character in VR in No Man's Sky.
I might have to. That game is so. It was so hard to get anywhere when it first came out, and now I think they've made it a lot easier. So I'd like to maybe try starting it over. I think just to see how things go.
Now, Resident Evil Village, dude, you never played that game. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna pop your cherry for Village with VR? Is that how you're gonna do it?
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Are you going to? I don't know. Fucking.
Burst the hymen.
Yeah. Are you gonna?
No.
You're just trying to meet me on my level as well to make me not look as bad. I appreciate that.
No, I want to play Resident Evil Village.
I know that's a sexual reference. Pop the cherry, but that's not how I intended it. So just to be clear.
I don't know that I could play. I want to play Village, but I don't know that I can do it in VR the first time around.
I think you should do it. I think you should try it. I maybe I will. I'm just not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like scary games and stuff like that, but I'm not into. Dude, it's an order of magnitude more intense in VR. It'll change your life how you feel about Resident Evil
when it's like in your fucking face. But I want to.
You need to just do it, because when you beat the game and you've only done it in VR, I did it with 7. It was fucking life-changing. I'm not joking. Like, you fucking get through the game in VR, you feel like you fucking experience something. And there's no other... I've never felt that way about a video game before in my life, and I probably never will. I've already played Village, so I can't experience that again, but I'm going fucking deep in Village with VR, dude. No questions
Well, I can
asked.
tell you right now that the first thing I need is fucking PTSD on top of the stress that I already have. So might as well just sign her.
I do sleep with a nightlight on now since I played that game. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think we're gonna have. I think we'll have more to talk about next week after we get it.
Dude,
but it's a good little primer on what.
Yeah, I just wanted to offer the listeners our opinions before it comes in, so we can do a little compare contrast compared to the next episode. Let's get into the PlayStation news. The first point of news is PlayStation is doing this thing, and it's called PlayStation Festival of Play. And I don't remember them doing this before. They probably called it something else. Maybe they did call it this, but they're going it's going through February 24th, 2022. And they're mainly advertising it as like being like huge double discounts on games. They're running a Stars campaign, which is like the reward program, loyalty program they're doing. And they're offering prizes, including a Bravia XR OLED TV. And to enter into that contest, all you have to do is head to the PlayStation.blog and log into your PlayStation account and answer 3 super easy questions. And it puts your name in the ring to win a free Bravia OLED TV. And I thought that was cool. And I think alongside with this, I'm going to jump to Newspoint. Let me see here. God, I don't even know where it's at. Hold on, because it's all tied together. So I don't know why the fuck it's not in my news. We're getting a lot of new games coming to PlayStation for Plus and Essential members. Yeah, it's the big one. All right, so yeah. So Plus, they announced this along with the Festival of Play. PS Plus Extra, that's the middle tier, is getting Horizon Forbidden West, The Quarry, which I'm so excited for you, Jake, Resident Evil 7, which has a free VR upgrade.
Awesome.
But I don't know if it's VR 2 playable. Outriders.
Fucking awesome.
Scarlet Nexus.
I'm so stoked about this.
Borderlands.
Good, yep.
Borderlands fucking 3.
Dude, all these games are dope. Anyway, sorry.
Tekken 7, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, Earth Defense Force 5, Oninaki, Lost Sphere, I Am Setsuna, and The Forgotten City. This list of fucking games is dope.
So, everybody probably knows most of the games on here are fucking dope because they're all AAA badass shit like Horizon. Horizon, The Quarry, Resident Evil 7, Outriders, I think, is something that everybody should play if they're interested in that type of third-person shootery RPG kind of game. I talked about it earlier on the podcast, how fucking much I love that game. I really want to do the World Slayer DLC for it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Borderlands 3 I always wanted to try, but I never really got around to it. Tekken is a great fighting series. Ace Combat 7 is like the only like if you want a AAA freaking fighter pilot game, Ace Combat is the only one out there right now, and apparently it's pretty good.
I played and beat it.
You played this, right?
I played and beat it, and I did the VR missions, which were a lot of fun. I wish there were more of them. So, but I will say, games on here that I always wanted to play. I Am Setsuna, never played it. It's by Tokyo RPG Factory. Apparently it's pretty good, and apparently it's depressing, but apparently it's really good in like the 16-bit style era of RPGs. And then the game on here that people might not know about that's fucking awesome is The Forgotten City. It's so good. I don't know anything about it.
So
what is it?
It's like you get basically you're on like a boat in a river and you crash or something, and then you wake up on the side on the bank, and you end up like finding this ruin nearby, and you get transported into this like old Greek city, and every time somebody commits a sin in this city, the god of this city fucking kills everyone. And so it's like a time loop thing where you have to go back in and you have to solve the mystery to see who's going to break the rules to prevent people from dying. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. Just kind of like look it up. But trust me,
I think you talked about this on one of our episodes.
I did talk about it on the podcast because I played it on it was on Game Pass, I think is where I played it. But it's very good. If you're not interested in like time loop games, you know, you might not like this, but it's like an adventure-y, you know, dialogue choice kind of game. Think of something, you know, like a Walking Dead or something like that, but it's a time loop. And the whole point is that every time you go back, you learn a little bit more, and you're trying to prevent this cataclysm from happening in this city and killing everyone. It's very, very cool. So I highly recommend that. But
this is a crazy list of games, dude.
Yeah, it's this list is amazing. So, I know some people are upset about the fact that Horizon Forbidden West is already on PS Plus, even though it just came out earlier in 2022. So it's been out for 8 months, I think, maybe 10 months at this point.
It's incentive for people to sign up for the
but that's the thing is, like, you guys gotta realize they're competing. No matter what they say, they're competing with Game Pass, and Game Pass puts everything first party on Game Pass on launch day. Sony's not going to do that because they have the upper hand and they need to sell games. They don't have the capital that Microsoft does. But I can guarantee you that Sony has sold the bulk of what they're going to sell with Forbidden West at this point at full price or near full price. So rather than put it on sale, they just toss it on extra, and they get a little bit more out of you by just having you subscribe to this service. And take it as you will, but I'm going to be the first person to tell you that extra is worth the extra $7 or $6 a month that you pay for it. And you get so many good games, and the fact that you get Forbidden West now is just a cherry on top of what is already a great service, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is also coming on the heels of them announcing that the PlayStation they pulled a lot of games recently. They pulled a lot of games. It was the PS what the fuck was it called? We talked about it last episode. They had some games. We got emails about it. We read the email on the show. It was the PlayStation Loyalty. What was it? Do you know what I'm talking
Stars?
about? Stars. The PlayStation Stars. No, hold on. We talked about this, dude, on the last show. They pulled a bunch of game titles for being free for Plus members.
You're talking about the PS Plus collection?
Yes, they pulled the PS Plus collection. Now, my thought is they're just getting rid of that. They're just not going to call it the PS Plus collection anymore. I'm thinking every year that instead of making it available to everybody, they're going to roll out some fucking dope ass games every year for PS Plus Extra members. And that's probably their aim. Now, I will say Premium, PS Plus Premium, the higher tier grade, is also getting The Legend of Dragoon. I thought we were getting that, which sucks that we weren't. Wild Arms 2, and Harvest Moon Back to Nature, 3 PS1 games. And then they're also getting to Destroy All Humans on PS4. Don't even care about any of those games, really. I would much rather. It's clear to see where the better deal is.
Dude, people have been clamoring for games, PS1 classics, on the premium tier because Sony's been really light on that in that regard.
That's a nice offering.
And I think that these 3 games are fucking bangers for them to throw on there. Now it's essentially 3 Japanese games, so maybe people aren't going to be super stoked about all those, but Legend of Dragoon, cult classic, Wild Arms 2, cult classic JRPG, Harvest Moon, cult classic franchise.
Right.
So and obviously Destroy All Humans, that's the PS4 remake, I assume, based on what you wrote here. And
I think so.
My understanding is that was received very well. So I'm not going to lie, man. I think that this list as a whole is some of the best PS Plus offerings we've gotten in a long time.
Right. I agree.
Now, yes, you do have to upgrade to at least the extra tier. And I can understand you being a little bit hesitant. But let me remind you that it's a monthly subscription. And if all you care about is playing one of these games, you can upgrade for a month and then downgrade back to the Essential Collection. And you will have essentially played, let's say, Forbidden West, which is a $60, $70 game still. You will have essentially been able to play it for an extra $5 for a month or two. It's still a pretty good deal. I did this shit with EA Play when I wanted to play Jedi Fallen Order. It's kind of annoying that you have to play this subscription game. I'm doing it right now with HBO Max for The Last of Us. But you take the deals where you can get them. And I think that this is great for people who have the service.
Yeah, I agree. I was really, really impressed. I've never played Borderlands 3 either. So the ones that I'm really excited about, well, for you is for you to play the fucking Quarry for once in your life. And then
I will play now that it's free. I probably will play it.
It's definitely
I know
worth
that Sarah
playing,
would
dude.
like to
It's
play
cool
that
as
game
shit.
with us.
Yeah. Outriders, I'm stoked on. Borderlands 3, I won't dive into Tekken 7. But maybe I will check out that Forgotten City. But I'm just excited for everybody else. But those are some new games I can put on my back burner. Let's get on to the next news point. Jake, when the PS5 released, Sony did a hell of a job. Just a hell of a job, first of all. But they also did a hell of a job with tearing down the PS5. They had this really clean PS5 teardown. And they've done it again. There is a PSVR 2 teardown that includes, I believe, the controllers and the headset. You can watch it on the PlayStation blog. Super rad. Did you watch this at all?
I saw screenshots of them tearing down the headset, but I didn't watch the whole thing. No.
As far as I know, they're the only tech company that rips apart their shit and posts it so you can see what the fuck's in it and how they made it. It's almost like they're fucking bragging. They're like, check out what we fucking did here. You see how this fits together? This all goes together so nicely. See what we did? It's
I think they just realized that, like, if people want to get in there, they're gonna get in there.
It's also super elegant, dude. Yeah.
It's cool to see. They're like, hey, look at what we did. Like, look how good of a job we did fitting all this shit together.
It's impressive.
And it's almost like they're almost like the I don't, like I said, I didn't watch this one, but I watched the PS5 teardown. They're almost like ASMR videos too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's quiet. They're just tearing it down. It's
all in a sterile background. Yeah, right. Everything's fucking sterile.
It's cool. I think it's great. I love that they do this. Put on
doctor gloves, and they're just like...
I want them to do it with the fucking Bravia television.
Dude, that'd be fucking crazy.
How do they get all that shit in that thin-ass piece of fucking plastic? That's what I want to know.
They'd have to kill you if they showed you. Next news point. At 1:31:45 on the reader. This is a long episode, but deserved. Diablo 4. Jake, this should be up your alley. It's getting an open beta dated for March 24th for PS5 and PS4, and it will permit you to play through the prologue and the first act. Now, if you are a pre-order person or you already, whatever, you will have early access to this beta. But I say just fucking wait and just play the beta for free. See if you like it.
Dude, I didn't know this, and I'm fucking stoked. Yeah. I love Diablo, so I'm really excited to play this. And it's not that long. It's a little more, like, it's barely more than a month away. And I think the game is slated for release in June, so that's pretty cool too. I'm really, I mean, the first act, if it's anything like Diablo 3, it won't take you a whole hell of a long time to get through. But it's cool that they're giving us a taste.
I agree. I'm getting more and more excited for this game, even though I didn't really play through 3. I played a little bit of it, but I think how you feel about this is probably how I would feel about having access to Darkest Dungeon in advance. All these fucking PC gamers on Steam have had access to Darkest Dungeon 2 for like a year and a half now. It's been in early access for a long time. They just rolled out for fucking version 1 or 2 or whatever version it is, and it's going to go live here pretty soon, but it's not coming to console right away, so I'm still waiting. Anyways, enough about that. For anyone who was hoping for DLC, Jake, for Hogwarts Legacy, Avalanche said no. They're not working on any, and there are no plans to work on any, but they will continue to support this game with any fixes or patches that are necessary. And they said if they change their mind, it's going to be a long-ass fucking wait because they literally have not done anything else with this game. So you can fucking set it and forget it.
I'm going to be honest, and this might be a hot take. I wish more studios, they did this with God of War Ragnarok as well. I wish more studios would come out and be like, this is the fucking game. We're going to make a new one now.
Or something else.
No more like DLC, like we're just giving, I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, I think if you want to complete, like be a completionist, it's like 50, 60 hours. It's not like it's a short game.
No, you're right. You're right.
So they don't really like, and I'm not gonna, I think that there are metrics out there that are probably showing that people don't want to come back to a game a fucking year later especially now with the hustle and bustle of the industry.
We still don't have.
People are moving on, and
Yeah.
it's like we're getting DLC for Horizon, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited, but like I'm not that excited, mostly because I already put that game away.
That might be why they included it. I gotta get it back out.
I gotta relearn how to play it. You know what I mean?
That could be why they included it with this plus extra.
Maybe. You might be right. I don't remember if they said when that's coming out yet. We haven't seen any gameplay. It's literally just a cinematic of Aloy flying over a fucking ocean or something.
Sony is really good at like getting people interested. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yes.
They're good at fucking doing this. You got to read between the lines sometimes with them. And
but I will say, without having beat Hogwarts Legacy, I am 100% okay with this.
Do you want to know how it ends? Because I could tell you right now.
No. Please
don't. Oh, by the way, yeah. I'll put it in the podcast notes next episode. You'll be fucking reading through it. And I'll be like, all capital letters. You'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'll be fucking unfriending you.
That's
from
so
real
fun.
life.
Quit the band, yeah.
No more podcast.
That would suck. That would suck for the listeners.
It'll be the fucking Fred show. He'll be all by himself.
Talking to
listeners
no one.
Will be like, where's the handsome guy? And then you'll have to be like, I fucking spoiled Hogwarts Legacy for him in the show notes, and he quit everything.
That'd be a fucking dirty trick. It would be hilarious though. I would never do it, but that would be fucking hilarious. All right, let's get on to the next one. Embracer has announced that after failing to meet their own expectations with the Saints Row reboot, they've indicated that each new project is going to have to earn its right to exist. They were really disappointed with this game, and I think the gamers were too, and I think it was just... They were just... From what I understand, they just didn't offer what the fans wanted, and this goes back to the thing where it's like, okay... Make a G.I. Joe fucking movie. Oh, it has nothing to do with what we know about G.I. Joe as it is, and no, we don't want a piece of it. Make this fucking thing. Make this entertainment thing. But then someone gets hold of the director's helm, and they just want to fucking make it their own fucking thing. And the game didn't sell well. It wasn't received well. They did not meet their expectations, and now they're like, well, maybe we ought to, like, vet these ideas before we put them into production. It's like, yeah, you fucking should. So this, I think, had to do with like their investors and stuff, and they were just kind of trying to backpedal a little bit and say, yeah, you're right, we fucked up. So I don't
this statement is fucking stupid, first of all.
Yeah,
because they're like, what does that mean? Your game has to earn the right to exist. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't exist, it can't be successful or unsuccessful.
Right.
So what
I think they're just saying that they got to take a deep look into the titles before they authorize them for development.
Oh my God, shocker. Right. This is what happens when you fucking spend billions of dollars on 100 goddamn studios
and you have
let them do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, right.
And you don't like watch any of it, listen to any feedback from the audience or fans or anything. And you're just like, yeah, let's just shit out a bunch of fucking B tier games, and maybe like
one's gonna land.
If 20% of them are good, then yeah, that's fine. It's like, I don't understand what these people are doing.
Could you imagine really someone like you or me at the helm of a fucking $1 billion fucking video game company? Like, the shit that company would be fucking involved in would be so rad. Like, I'm not coming up with the games themselves, but I'm the fucking gatepost. Like, you got to clear your idea by me or by Jake, and then it gets made or it doesn't fucking get made. And I think that would be the perfect litmus test for any $1 billion game. They should just fucking contract us, dude. Embracer, we'll do it. We'll vet your fucking ideas. We'll tell you what's going to work. Every game they put out is a third-person fucking action game that plays like Uncharted. I'm kidding. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just all these Darkest Dungeon clones. Witcher clones.
Yeah, I don't know. I this is one of those things like Embracer. You know, I don't want to see anybody fail, but I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for them and what's going on here.
I feel bad for the people that developed fucking Saints Row in a way, but I mean, they got it. I don't know. At what point does an actual video game artist or developer have a say in that office? Like, can they be like, this shit's not going to fly. It's not going to be good. How do we get that up the ladder to the person in charge, right? And at what point is it too late?
like who's making the decisions? Because clearly, literally everybody was like, this is not what people want in a Saints Row game. Period. From the day it was fucking announced,
Right.
people are like, why does this look like Fortnite? Why, not to mention it came out broken. So I don't know, man. It sucks, but I don't really feel bad when a company that's just throwing billions of dollars around, just trying to gobble up the industry, is failing because they're just making stupid decisions. I mean, we're some fucking 2-bit shitty ass rural games podcast living in the middle of fucking nowhere, and we could have told you that half of this shit isn't going to work. So you got these guys, these suits that are in control of billions of dollars that don't even play games. They don't know anything. They don't understand anything. Why are they in charge of this shit?
Yeah, don't ask me.
I don't know.
Man. Don't ask me. I know why some of them are in charge of this shit. It's because they fucking know people and they have money, and that's how they got to where they got. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people that run these companies didn't fucking... I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, but I don't feel like they were in the trenches for long in these companies, making video games, doing this, that. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't in there long enough. Maybe they don't have a good... I think it's possible to be fucking completely lost in your job. I could see people that know the job better than the people who are running the studio, just because you start, when you get into management, you start fucking getting like involved in the budgeting, the fucking managing employees more so than like working the games. And like, I would imagine the higher up you go in these studios, and like if you're just like the person who's approving this shit or not approving this shit, or the board that's approving this shit, you're so fucking far removed from the actual thing that you don't even know what you're doing. And I don't know. It's just my thought process and how this shit probably happens. I don't know. I just know, like, in the world that I work in professionally, that the people who are higher up, the people who are making the big calls, have been they haven't been doing the job itself for so long that I think the intentions are altruistic, and I think that they want to make things easier and better for everybody, but like the decisions they make often are clearly not the best decisions, but they think that that's the way to go because they're just not part of the picture anymore, but they have all the power. And that's the problem. And I see that a lot with management and people who just run companies. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. Let's move forward. Everybody that listens to the show knows, Jake, that you turned me on to Metro, the games. And I'm super excited. 4A Games is apparently targeting a 2024 release date for the sequel to Metro Exodus. And they're going to be developing it for next-gen consoles. And what they put on the site is that they're going to be for Gen 9 consoles is what they wrote. I don't even fucking know what that means. I'm guessing next-gen. And PC. And they're going to completely be overhauling the prior engine and the renderer to take advantage of these new systems. And Metro Exodus looked amazing, and it got an update to run at 60 on the PS5, and it's fucking beautiful. And I know you couldn't really get into the game. I think you had trouble getting into it. I want to see them go back to the tunnels. We've been topside. Let's go back in. Let's go back into the Metro. That's my take.
Yeah, they completely the game completely deviated from where its roots were.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first game, if you played the original Metro 2033, it was basically a survival horror game. And it's not anywhere close to that by the time you get to Metro Exodus. So, I don't know. This is cool. I hope that it's good. and I look forward to more. But I don't really have a whole lot to say about it at this point. Really,
I think if anyone's played the Metro Exodus game, I think there are elements of survival horror to it for sure. It's just less scary than the other games, but there's definitely a survival aspect to it. Some very fucking memorable moments in Exodus that even still sometimes I think about, and it's a great game, dude. It is good. I want to go back and play it. I started a playthrough of it again on the PS5, and then I just put it down because something else came out or something. But I'm excited about that news. Now, FIRAXIS. Everybody knows FIRAXIS, studio behind the XCOM games and Marvel Midnight Suns, which I will say my brother played Midnight Suns, and he really, really, really liked it. FIRAXIS is seeing an overhaul over there in their studio. The director of both the XCOM Midnight Suns game, Jake Solomon, and the head of the studio, Steve Martin, are leaving FIRAXIS during the overhaul. Taking over as the studio head is going to be Heather Hazen. Now, FIRAXIS did announce they're going to be doing a new Civilization game, which everyone's stoked about. And they're also going to be offering DLC post-launch for the Marvel's Midnight Suns. So they're still working on that. But pretty much two of the big head honchos in that studio they're leaving. So
my understanding is that Midnight Suns did not sell very well.
Right.
And so this might be part of the reason for this. The thing that sucks is that my understanding is that Midnight Suns is fucking awesome.
Yeah, my brother loved it.
And we both know that XCOM is fucking awesome, even though it gets a little hard, especially XCOM 2 is pretty hard.
They're great games.
But if you're talking about turn-based tactical like strategy RPGs, they're like the best in the industry.
Yeah.
The only other studio that's even close is I can't remember the name of them. The team that's doing the Wasteland games. They're the only other team that's even close. And obviously, there's rumors about a Tactics remake and stuff like that, which I guess is, you can bring them into the ring or whatever. But I hope that the poor sales of Midnight Suns didn't result in these people leaving, that sort of snowballs into the overhaul making the games worse, which will snowball into the games selling worse, which will snowball into the you know what I mean. So like I'm not saying that this Heather Hazen can't do a better job or a worse job or whatever. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying that
it would stop for them to change their direction.
These guys oversaw like some of the best tactics RPGs ever made, and they're leaving. So you're talking about kind of overhaul is a good word for it, because this is going to be a different leadership that's completely different than what was successful previously. So we'll see.
We never got on console the XCOM game that came out after XCOM 2.
What was it? War of the Chosen or whatever the fuck it was?
After that,
yeah.
There was it was about like a group of characters that I don't think that you made yourself. I think they were pre-made. XCOM. God, I gotta look it up, because it was on my list, and it's on PC, but I never had an opportunity to play it. I think it's on Xbox Games Pass, maybe even. XCOM.
Are you sure it's not War of the Chosen?
It wasn't made by FIRAXIS, I don't think. It was Chimera Squad.
Oh, yeah.
That was made by it was FIRAXIS. Developed by FIRAXIS, published by 2K. Only available on Windows. So it didn't come out anywhere.
Yeah, we didn't
else.
get War of the Chosen or Chimera Squad on console.
We didn't get War of the Chosen?
I don't think so.
It's an expansion for XCOM 2. I thought we got that. Yeah, we got it. It's just an expansion for XCOM 2.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Chimera Squad we certainly did not get. And that was a game I really, really wanted to sink my teeth into. I just remember playing XCOM 1 or 2, and I made a character look just like my dad. And it was so weird. It looked just like him, dude. It was so freaking bizarre. But anyways, let's move forward a little bit. So this next one's going to be a quick news point, and then we're almost out of your hair today, guys. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. The Remedy, we got an Alan Wake remake, and they've been working on Alan Wake 2. Apparently, they've announced that Alan Wake 2 is playable now from beginning to end. So this game's coming right along. I never played the first.
I would hope so, because I think it's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, so I guess that's good news then. I don't know. I never played the first one, but I just want to let the listeners know, if you're interested in that, it's not in no man's land, and it's on track. And then last news point, and Jake, I don't know if you're going to be able to find any new games coming out this week or not. Oh, we missed one. We missed a news point. I got to get back to it. The next news point, sorry, this is important because I'm a Supermassive fan. The Devil in Me is the game, the installment of the Dark Pictures anthology that I didn't play. And it's stupid that it's just a month, but they're giving out a free Friends Pass and a Curator's Cut. It's going to come as a free update. And the Friend Pass allows any owner of the game to play the entire game with a friend who doesn't own the game, but it's only valid for a month. It's like, what? You just trying to spike sales of your game? Like, just make it all the time so that, I mean, if it were all the time, I would probably pick it up, but it's only a month and I don't have time to fucking play a game right now. So Curator's Cut allows people to see the game from a different perspective as well as experience new outcomes. Like I said, I haven't played this one. I do want to play it at some point, but I just wanted to throw that out there. You guys know I like the Dark Pictures anthology games. Jake, have you played any of them yet?
Nope.
Tisk. Disappointing.
You are literally the only person that says that it's awesome. So that's the big reason why I haven't played it, to be honest with you.
But you and I have similar tastes.
Other stuff. I know, but
it's no big deal.
These games are so hard for me to play nowadays.
I don't have an expectation. It's fine. I enjoy them. I'm glad that they're doing them. Let's get on to the next one. Last one is, Jake, you're a huge fan of Psychonauts 2. You talked about how great this game was.
Yeah.
Double Fine released a 32-part documentary series of making this game. That seems...
Is each part like 2 minutes long?
I have no clue. I didn't look. This was a news point on Push Square.
Because if that's the case, it's fucking annoying. Just make like one 60-minute documentary.
They're probably an hour long. It's 32 hours of making a fucking game.
If that's the case, that's actually fucking awesome. But
like, you have time to watch it. No one has time to watch that shit.
No, I don't have time to watch that kind of shit. But that's cool though. Psychonauts 2 is amazing. That's one of those. It's like the last. You're not going to get another Double Fine game on PlayStation. They're Xbox Studio now. So if you have any interest at all, Psychonauts 2, actually like a character platformer, the game's really fucking good. So go play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I don't think, with all the PSVR 2 news hitting, I don't believe. Oh, here they are. Here are the new games coming this week. I found them. I've got them. I got you guys covered. And, God, there's a lot of fucking games. Did we already? No, we already did this list. Nope. There's no new list. There's no new list, guys and girls. So, no new games this episode. So that about wraps everything up, man. And I got to find some games that begin with the letter R. But
you want me to read them for you?
What?
I'll read them for you.
Game begins with an R? Just give me one. And then we'll put it on the end.
Resident Evil.
I already got it.
Rage.
All right, we're good. I got the other one. Okay. So we'll close things off. Do you have anything you want to end with? Don't forget, Octopath Traveler 2 is out. Haven't played it. It's on my list. Right in.
Did it actually release, or is just the demo?
No, I think it's out now.
Right
in.
It's probably awesome.
Let us know what you think should happen with VR 2. Let us know how much you love our podcast. And J1, I think you're real. So thanks for listening to the podcast, dude. He wrote in again. J1 wrote in again. I thought he was a bot. He changed his name at one point. But the latest comment from J1, and this actually sounds like a real comment, and we'll let it rip after this. We'll close things off. I don't know. He wrote two weird ones. The first one was a comment on our PS This Is the Last of Us show, which we've been doing every Monday night, so make sure you tune into that. J1 writes in, episode 5 was sad and amazing. of the Last of Us TV show. You'll both write about the hordes reminding of Days Gone in World War Z. So we talked about how the hordes in episode 5 seemed like World War Z and Days Gone, but then the grammar again is a little weird. I'm not picking on you. But this is something that a bot would fucking write. I think that's more realistic though. And then 8 hours ago, J1 writes, I put a short up. Are you excited for PSVR 2? And it says, I'm extremely beyond excited for my Sony PSVR 2 and things with it. And a bunch of emojis. You sound like a fucking bot, but you're writing things. I don't know. Maybe you aren't a bot. I don't know. This is, listeners, is J1 a bot? Will you just fucking respond to J1 and see if he writes you back? Say something to J1 on the YouTube comments and see if he engages in an intellectual conversation with you about a game. I think he's real. I'm pretty sure J1's real, dude. J1, thank you. Bot or not? Am I bot or not? Instead of am I hot or not? Am I bot or not? Then that'll be the new fucking thing. Is this a real person or is it a bot? Fuck, dude. The world we're living in. Jake, that's all I got. I don't know. Are you done? Are you done? I'm done. I'm fucking done. I gotta upload this.
I'm fucking done. It's been a long podcast and I have not eaten anything today, so I'm gonna go eat dinner.
So this is then the closing. We're gonna close it right here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to episode 264 of PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. You can tune in every Monday to listen to Jake and I talk shit about things and talk video games. Or if you're a patron of the show for $1 a month, you could probably get this on Sunday evening before it posts for everyone else. Patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Like Rashard, Resident Evil Village, and Rage. P.S.
P.S.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.